Hey guys, how you doing? It's Dat One Gamer again, and coming back after a really big break. And yes, it's a whopping 3 months that I haven't been on YouTube. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to deliver on what I was gonna set out before. So my Uncharted 4 review, my spoiler cast, it all got ruined because of some things that happened. But hey, I'm just here to say that I am really back to my recording schedule. And I know in every video that I apologize for not being that regular with my videos. But hey, this is actually serious now. I will be posting more videos from now on and being more dedicated to what I'm doing. And guys, this time around, actually, I did forgot to mention that like you may have seen, I have posted my Uncharted 4 review. Some of the things I say in it is is a little bit outdated. Like I keep on saying that I forgot to post the video maybe like last Friday or something. Yeah, some of those things are kind of wonky. I was gonna do maybe like a second review, a little bit more polished, but I thought that today, instead of doing a second review for the game, I would just go into a new topic that's really been kind of controversial recently. Because what I'm doing is I'm focusing on newer games because that's what you guys usually like as well. So today the topics is a quick topic that I like to that's been on my mind for a while, and it's about the game No Man's Sky. Because No Man's Sky, let's just say, has been one of the most anticipated games ever. You know, it was super hyped up. And really, what I want to talk about No Man's Sky is I don't want to do a review of the game. Instead, I just want to talk about something that's affecting it, and that's the hype behind the game. And I really want to focus on not just the hype behind No Man's Sky, but on how hype can ruin a game. Because if you see recent coverage on No Man's Sky, we see that it is not doing very well. Critically, it's not doing great. Commercially, I'm not too sure. I think a lot of the game did sell pretty well, but but critically, the game is not doing very well at all. And this is basically because of what I say each time I see a game go through the stage. It's because of the hype process. People hype it up to the point where they think that this game is going to be the be-all end-all of the gaming industry, and they play it and they thoroughly get disappointed, and basically because the hype was a bit too high. They ranked this game way too much with their expectations and whatnot. And really, this issue was not just with No Man's Sky. There's been many examples in the past years on how hype can ruin a game, and just looking at, I think every year there's one game that's hyped to the point of no extent, and then when the game comes out, it's not up to standards. Like for example, 2014 we had Destiny. That game was hyped. And with Destiny, I think it should have delivered. Like I'm a Destiny player, but even I think that that game was overhyped as hell, and to the point where everyone was getting excited. You know, it was getting shown at E3, Gamescom. There's a lot of the new gameplay features being introduced, and everyone was naturally excited for Destiny. And what happened when Destiny came out? It turned out to be one of the most biggest disappointments in gaming history, didn't it? Last year wasn't that bad. 2015, most of the games that came out really lived up to its expectations. So we had Witcher 3, we had Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, which is my personal favorite, and we also had Fallout 4, which was also pretty good. And then we had the other games like Batman Arkham Knight and Rise of the Tomb Raider. They're all very good games. Now this year we have gotten, in my opinion, the most significant overhyped game that hasn't delivered to date, and that is No Man's Sky. And now, when people always ask me about where I was in No Man's Sky, I always said I was very neutral with the game. I was on the fence. I wasn't a mega fan of the game, but at the same time, I didn't hate the game. I was always on the middle of the road for this one. You know, I wasn't siding with any sides. But it is now when I saw the reviews for this game that I really understood how people react with games nowadays. Is that either people there are two type of peoples when it comes to hype games. The people that love it, and there are people that hate it. Because there are people out there that think that this is one of the greatest games ever made, and at the same time, there are people that are just hating on this game, critics including. And really, what I just want to talk about today is how the hype ruined this game, and what we really need to keep in mind with future titles as well coming in the future. So first of all, No Man's Sky was introduced at E3 2014 or 2013 or 2014. I can't remember completely. But when it came out, people just lost their minds. You know, it was endless exploration, freedoms, all these planets you can explore. good ship gameplay mechanics. And the game looked very good, and it was by an indie development studio. It wasn't a AAA development squad. It was just a small little indie studio called Hello Games. And each major event that was on that year was really hyping at No Man's Sky. So we got E3, Gamescom, PAX. So they were really hyping up this game. So then going to 2015, the same things. The game was at Gamescom, E3, and people were naturally excited. And then the game came out in August, and a lot of people's expectations were dashed away. And I kind of saw this coming, to tell you the truth. I don't want to sound indignant or anything like that, but really, it's because when I looked at the game, it was like, okay, open-ended exploration. That's why I said I was on the fence for this game, because I couldn't truly say that I was going to love this game. Because for me, I'm going to be honest, I thought it looked a little bit boring in my opinion. Endless exploration, no such plot progression. Like, I am a person that loves a plot. But that doesn't mean that I hate open world. I love open world games. My favorite genre in gaming is basically RPGs, and the RPGs that I like are open-ended, open world RPGs. So like I love my Fallout, I love my Skyrim, so open world RPGs. But this RPG world didn't seem very interesting. The color palette, the color and the design for this game was very interesting. I thought that was really cool. But other than that, this game didn't interest me that much. But for other people, started losing their minds. They thought this was going to be like I said, the be-all and end-all of video games. And people hyped it up, hyped it up, hyped it up. And look what happened. It was all kind of a train wreck at the end. Now, really, because of this, who is to blame? People say, okay, blame the consumers, so the guys that hyped it up. Or blame the developers. So, and here's my opinion on it. So we have a choice, either the developers or the consumers. In my opinion, I think it's the consumers that didn't. Because when people start talking about this game, I have friends that play this game, and when they started, talking a lot of crap about this game, I kind of said to them, well, I don't know, the game, even though it has its limitations, I played it for around 4 hours. I don't own the game, I actually played it at a friend's place, but when I did play those 4 hours, the game is actually not bad. But you need to keep in mind that this game was developed by an indie studio. It wasn't a AAA studio, it was an indie studio, so they wouldn't have, a giant budget. They wouldn't have a lot of money to do things. And for their talents and also their budget, I think they did an okay job. See, I'm not a person that hates on No Man's Sky. I played it, I thought it was a decent game. Maybe not a game that I'll be going back to a lot, but still, it was an enjoyable time. And that's why I think that people were having these reactions. Either when they love a game to death, and when it comes in and doesn't deliver, is when they start hating. Because the friends I played it with, my friends that got the game, were actually really excited to play it. Because they were one of those guys that was fanning out about No Man's Sky, but when they actually started playing it, they kind of realized that it wasn't for them, that there was a lot of wonky mechanics. Now, I'll admit, like, a lot of the mechanics in the game needs to be refined, like, the shooting mechanics is kind of clunky. The open mode, although the color palette's very interesting and intricate, I don't think that it's very intriguing. Like, it's just the open-ended, vast landscape of just colors. Whatever that is. And also the NPCs in the game don't really make sense to me. Not that it doesn't make sense, but they aren't interesting. Progression in the game, for me, I thought the game wasn't paced very well out of the initial 4 hours that I played. So the game does have issues, but really, in my opinion, it's really hype that killed No Man's Sky. And I thought when No Man's Sky was going to come out, it was a game that will, if it lived up to the hype, will be going on for maybe months, even years. Just like some other games in the past generation have lived on. But we see that in this case, that hasn't really been the thing with No Man's Sky. And personally, I kind of blame the consumers, because they are the ones responsible for hyping up the game. Because when you buy a game, you should know what you like and what you don't like. See, that's the thing with me when I saw No Man's Sky. I knew what type of games I liked. I love my RPGs, I love my open world games. But when I saw No Man's Sky, it wasn't really for me. Even though I do like a lot of the scientific parts of it, the inventory system, I thought that looked really cool. Really close to games like, Minecraft. And I thought it was quite cool, but it wasn't the game for me. So I knew that not to have too much expectation for this game. And because I had not that much expectation for this game, when it came out and I played it, I thought it was decent. I didn't think it was, great. but it was decent. But we see the people that hyped it up and thought they were going to fall in love with the game. When they got it, they hated it. So you see the pattern. You always have to keep an open mind towards everything. You always have to be on the fence. You can't either be on either side. And I know it's really hard to be like that, especially in this industry where a lot of franchises are coming out and a lot of really good, interesting IPs are coming out as well. You feel like, okay, that is a game that I'm going to fall in love with. Trust me, it's happened to me before. Now I've been completely wrong about it. So what I'm saying is that I blame the consumers for the ill reception this game got, and also I think for the consumers is that they should really know what they're getting into, what games they like, what games they don't like, and that can really determine on how they view a game when played. So guys, that was just my little, I don't want to say rant, but my really in-depth look. I guess it's not even that in-depth. My look into No Man's Sky and the reception it's getting. Now, as something that's very interesting, that's really interested in me, is the reviews for this game. Now, this is where I really got quite surprised, because no matter how hyped a game is, and even if it doesn't deliver, a lot of gaming outlets gives it a really good score. Take Destiny for example. The game got like a 7.8 from IGN. Even I don't think it should have gone that. That was vanilla Destiny. Destiny Year 1 should have been like a 4 or a 5 out of 10. But we see outlets like GameSpot gave it a 7, and then IGN gave it a 7.8. And I was like, okay, I don't think it deserved that much. Evolve came out. Now that is something I want to get. Evolve came out. IGN gave it a 9.1. And this is when I lost it. A game in which you have to, which is incomplete. It was on retail for full price, and the content wasn't there. They gave it a 9.1. And here's the thing with reviewing in games with games that are hyped. As a reviewer, you have the responsibility of letting the consumer know on what they're about to get. That is your ethical responsibility as a reviewer. And a lot of reviewers nowadays don't really respect that, in my opinion. So, and IGN for me is a big culprit of this, because we all know this was an issue when Shadow of Mordor came out, because even though that game was great, there was a bit of a debacle going around that about the influence the studio had on these outlets giving it a positive review. Now thank goodness that game was good, actually. So you see the thing, reviews, so going back to No Man's Sky, the reviews for No Man's Sky were actually quite justified. IGN finally gave the game a 6, GameSpot gave it a 7, and really I think that's a good enough average score for the game and what the content that it offers. It deserves a solid 6 or a 7, and not anything more than that, in my opinion. And it's good to see that the change in media outlets like these two giants, like GameSpot and IGN, giving a very hyped game a very mediocre score. I think that's good, because they're educating the consumers on what they should be getting, and I think that's when it really comes in, because they're saying that, okay, No Man's Sky, it's a good game, but it depends on the person you are that's playing it. So if you like your linear story shooters, you're not going to enjoy this game, but you like grinding and you're a RPG / open world fan, you might like this game. So I really appreciated the reviews this time around. And also the gamers as well. The gamer community really has been coming together when it comes to this. And also we see that this also happened last year with Batman Arkham Knight. When that PC port came out, everyone in the gaming community lost it, and they went to WB and told that your port sucks. And that's why, and because of that, the game got pulled from Steam. It got fixed up. Until this date, it's not even on Steam anymore. So that's good. We see how strong the gaming community is, and really, when it comes to these type of things, we have to battle it out. You see, and that's the same thing with hype as well. You just really have to be careful in what you're buying. So guys, that's just a show for today. I said a quick show, but it's like 15 minutes now. So I won't blabber on for much long. I just want to say that thanks for supporting the channel. I run a fairly small gaming channel, and for my hobbies, I guess, and I really appreciate all the support you guys are showing me, especially with my Uncharted 4 vs Tomb Raider review, impressions. That video, you guys just blew my mind away. It got over 300 views, and that's really big when I think about it. So I really have to thank you for that. And guys, I'm actually also going to do another video, maybe next week, and I want to kind of talk about something else that's been bothering me recently. It's about the comparison between the Western video game industry and the Eastern video game industry. You know, by East I mean more of the Japanese gaming market. And I just want to do a quick comparison like that because I really actually enjoyed talking about that subject to a friend just recently. So I thought I'll give my impressions out on of that as well. So guys, thank you for all the support and for everything, and have a fantastic day.